Hi, community. Welcome to another episode of Allie's Take. I'm Coach Allie. Happy to be here with you today. I wanted to talk to you today about speed bumps. So, this is one of those really important topics that if you've been on your recovery journey for a while, or whether you've just started on your recovery journey, you're bound to face a speed bump or several, as we all do. It's an inevitable part of recovery. So today we're going to talk about that. The first thing we wanted to talk about today is, what is a speed bump? So a speed bump is something that happens to all of us along our recovery journey. It happens after a time of sleeping better, and we hit kind of a bump in the road. Often it's referred to as a setback or a relapse, but a more accurate description is a speed bump. And although they really are an inevitable part of the recovery journey, they can feel so discouraging. Believe me when I tell you, I know. I know how discouraging they can feel. A speed bump, however, is the brain's way of testing the waters, right? Making sure that it is really safe to be awake at night. And the next thing that's really important to understand is, how do we respond to this, right? So, how to respond is really by not responding much at all. Speed bumps can slow us down for a minute, but if we can get back up, brush ourselves off, and continue forward without trying to find patterns and reasons and what we did and what we didn't do and go into more efforting and problem solving, right? Then we can just brush off the experience, realize that it had nothing more to do with anything other than this part of our brain, the scared part of our brain that is seeking reassurance that we really are okay, that it really is safe to be awake at night. So the brain, however, it wants us to react and to respond by engaging in more problem solving efforts, because that's the nature of our brain. It is a problem solving machine, and this is its job. However, in this particular instance, it's not helpful because it only reinforces, right? It reinforces this pattern that wakefulness is fearful and should be avoided at all costs. So, this part of our brain, that scared part, the instinctive brain, has been misinformed. It has perceived this threat as life threatening and real, and it's actually not. It's not a real life threat, it is only a perceived threat. And so we have to teach the brain that we really are okay to experience wakefulness, that we are meeting these fears and meeting this anxiety with an action, right? With doing an action showing the brain that we are indeed okay. The urge, however, to react can be really strong. If we can respond again and again by showing the brain it's safe to be awake at night and that we are okay, then the alarm bells will go off and we'll be on our way. However, we are human, and there will be times that the urge to react will be overpowering, and that is okay. We're human beings, right? So this is our point number 3. This is also really important, and I want to quote Coach Alina here. No one expects someone in recovery to check the acceptance box every night. It is a given that our safety-seeking brain will resist every step of the way. Thank you, Coach Alina, for that. I love that quote. It is so very true. So there will be nights that we find that we have the capacity to be with the discomfort, and we can allow it space, and we can allow it to move through us, and we really feel resourced, and we have the capacity to do that. And there will be other nights where we feel completely overwhelmed by it, and we just don't have the capacity. And it's really an important part of the journey to recognize this and to find this balance between self-kindness and courage, right? So those nights that we feel resourced, we feel like we have the capacity to sit with the discomfort, this is courage. This is showing up saying, okay, whatever happens, I'm here for it. I can handle it. And then on the flip side of that, There might be those nights that we just don't have the capacity, that we're completely overwhelmed, and it isn't helpful to try to be with that kind of emotion when that primitive brain is just completely taking over. So this is the time where we show ourselves so much self-kindness, taking care of ourselves as best we can in those moments of overwhelm in a way that feels the most easeful, the most comfortable, and the most supportive. And this is going to look different for everybody, but this is where we practice that self-kindness. So we're going on here. Finding that balance is so important. And it is a big part of the healing journey. And these ups and downs, they really just are part of the recovery process. So the next point we want to make, number 4, is that this whole journey is about learning to ride these waves. And learning to ride these waves is what builds capacity to tolerate this discomfort and show the scared part of our brain that we are indeed okay. Healing is not linear. It is full of these up and downs, and this is part of the journey. So just knowing that can take a lot of pressure off, right? So when we notice that we are fueling the fire, right, when we're responding and reacting to this speed bump, we can see that for what it is. We can go easy on ourselves. It's okay if we reacted or responded and had that urge to do something, because that's just part of our brain's attempt to problem solve. It's its survival mechanism. It's our biology. So as much as we can't fight that either, the brain's going to go through every iteration to land on finally that there's nothing to be done, that we can't do anything, that there is no winning move, right? So that is where we eventually land. But the brain has to go through all these different iterations to figure out that it's a problem. It isn't a problem. It's a self-perpetuated cycle, right? So those problem-solving efforts are futile. So that is really important to understand too, is this is what is happening as we're learning through this process. We're building capacity to sit with the discomfort. So the scared brain is only seeking reassurance by igniting again. And we can respond by showing the brain all is well. It's safe to be awake at night. It isn't preferred, but again, we don't have to like it to be okay. So learning from the speed bumps is really the process of abandonment and leaving the struggle ultimately. So when that brain finally has gone through all its problem-solving efforts, it's tried all the things, all the pills, all the supplements, all the things, it finally lands on, there is nothing that I can do. There's no trick, no hack. And the only winning move is not to play. That's from War Games. Daniel had a really good video about that one. So you can, maybe I can leave it in the comments or figure out a way to do that. But that's essentially what's happening here with speed bumps, is they are part of the process of recovery. In fact, we often say at the sleep coach school that if somebody doesn't experience speed bumps, then we aren't sure that they actually had insomnia, because it is the nature of the brain, this part of the brain, the scared brain, that amygdala, that it is going to test the waters. It is going to come, that hyperarousal, that anxiety is going to resurface so that we have the opportunity to show that part of our brain that we really are okay. The only way we can do that is by our actions, right? So point number 5, numbers are hard today. Number 5, this is such a really important point too. And this is that sleep is not the cure for insomnia. And at first that sounds really weird, because we're in this whole journey to, try to actually improve our sleep. And when we find out sleep is not actually the cure for insomnia, that can be a little bit mind-boggling. But here's the thing. Recovery is about freedom from fear, anxiety, and worry around all things sleep related, right? Sleep comes back as a byproduct as we learn to meet this experience of the fear, of anxiety in this new and different way. And that new and different way is by giving it space, allowing its presence, knowing that it's just another part of ourselves. There's nothing bad or wrong about it. It's not comfortable, but it's there for a reason. It has become this protective part. And as we teach it that everything, it's okay to experience all this, it's okay to be afraid, it's okay to feel anxious, all of these are okay emotions. Little by little, that part of our brain gets the message and rewires to an orientation of safety, and sleep comes back as a byproduct. I hope that was helpful. I'm sorry I kind of messed up my numbers today, but I really hope you get some value from this. If you find you need more support, we are here for you at the Sleep Coach School. You can go to our website. We have one-on-one sessions available with all the coaches, myself included. We have our immunity program, which is a community program where you get live interaction with the community and your coaches every week. So we have lots of opportunities to help you and help you leave the struggle. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.